In the gospel story from Matthew chapter 9, verses 18 through 26, a bleeding woman and the father of a dead girl act upon their faith, their informed imaginations, as they put their creative trust in Jesus. The father believes that Jesus can bring back his daughter from the dead if only Jesus will touch her hand. And the woman who has a bleeding disease and has had this for 12 years believes that Jesus can heal her if she can just touch the hem of his garment. These two people are both trapped. They've got nowhere else to turn. But as the author Max Lucado writes in his book, He Still Moves Stones, before their very eyes is a never-say-die Galilean who majors in stepping in when everyone else steps out. Jesus' first act is to heal the bleeding woman. According to the law of Moses, a blood disease like this woman has would have made her ceremonially unclean as long as her blood discharge continued. And anyone who touched her would have also become unclean, which is why for 12 years she has had very little to no contact with her family and her community. Everyone would have shunned her because no one would have wanted to suffer both physical and social scorn like this woman has. Craving close contact, this woman imagines herself as a member of Christ's own family. She reaches out from behind and she touches the tassels hanging from the four corners of Jesus's cloak, which in her culture only Jewish family members were allowed to touch. She believes that if Jesus will accept her as family, she will be healed. And Jesus does accept her. He takes her uncleanliness upon himself and he calls her daughter. He commends her creative faith. He removes her public stigma and smooths the way for her to reconnect with her family and her community, just as this woman first imagined. Jesus' second response is to the Father, who believes that he can indeed raise his daughter from the dead. Now, because Jewish families remain impure for 7 days after the immediate death of a family member, the Father's faith in Jesus supersedes his own ritual obedience to remaining shut away in his home until the proper time. He goes straight away to Jesus, kneels before him, and lifts up a desperate plea. Following the man home, Jesus deprives the professionally paid mourners of weeping over what Jesus considers to be only a sleeping girl. He then goes into the home. And he does exactly what the Father imagined. He reaches down, takes hold of this dead girl's hand, and she wakes up. Jesus transforms the girl's dark situation into the light of new life. No degree of death is so desperate as to be past the help of Jesus. What miracle do you need right now in your life? Can you imagine that miracle happening today as the bleeding woman imagined she could be healed? As the Father imagined that Jesus could bring back his dead daughter? What help do you desire for someone else, perhaps? Can you picture it in your mind's eye? And if so, give it to Jesus. Stand eye to eye with the great physician and say, I believe you can do this for me. Again, Max Lucado writes, the seized opportunity renders joy. The neglected opportunity brings regret.